Welcome to Miss Muller's Digital Arts lesson. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build your own print portfolio using Microsoft PowerPoint. So in a previous lesson, I showed you how to actually build your online portfolio using freeartist.net. Now what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to make a matching print portfolio by using a lot of the same imagery. So to start with, let me first show you the version of PowerPoint that I'm using. I'm using PowerPoint for Macintosh, but the PowerPoint version for PC or for Windows will work just fine as well. You will need Microsoft PowerPoint though for this lesson, so you will either have to locate a computer that you can use that has Microsoft PowerPoint on it, which could include using the computer lab or a classroom at your school. You can maybe borrow a laptop that has Microsoft PowerPoint on it, or else you may be able to download a trial version of Microsoft PowerPoint and work from there. But this is how it looks. When I open up Microsoft PowerPoint, it's going to give me the option to create a PowerPoint, and it's going to have a bunch of pre-made themes here. We're going to work with it with just the basic white theme for now, so I'm going to click on that, double click, and this is what's going to show up. So now, as you can see, there's no background design here. If I click on themes over here, it'll let me pick a theme from one of these ones, but we don't want to do that. We want to get one that's going to match. So here's a quick example. I'm going to go ahead and show you. Here we go. Give me a second to open up Safari. I'm going to show you my portfolio that I did on freeartist.net. I actually changed the background design in the last lesson, but I'm going to show you what you can do with that. Okay, so now I'm FreeArtist. I'm at freeartist.net. I'm going to go ahead and go to my portfolio. There's two ways to do that. The shortcut to your portfolio is freeartist.net / your username. So my username is the Fluffy Shrimp. So it's freeartist.net / the Fluffy Shrimp. Yours will be freeartist.net / your username. Don't forget, FreeArtist is plural, so there's an S at the end of artists. So here's a sample of my old portfolio. So what I did is I went ahead and made this fall theme, as you can see here, with leaves. What I'm going to do is, before I had this picture, let me show you. Okay, so before I had this picture that I had been using for the background of my portfolio, this is, if you want to use a photograph for the background of your portfolio, this is fine. However, what I also did is I showed you in the other lesson how to create a pattern background. So here's an example of a pattern background as well. Now, a pattern background, what you're going to have to do, if you want to get your PowerPoint to match a pattern background like this, you're going to have to scroll down on your portfolio pretty far until you can get this kind of just a big block of it out here, and you're going to screen capture that. Now, there's a couple different ways to screen capture. I'm not going to go over it in depth, but on the Macintosh, it's going to be Command S4 is how you're going to screen capture, Command S4. On Windows, what you're going to do is you're going to click Window Print Screen. So the Window button and then Print Screen. It might be PRNT. Screen will be SCRN, I believe it is. And that should give you a print screen. So it's going to be a clip it. So say I'm going to drag this one. This is how I can do it. You may just print screen the entire thing, and you may have to edit that in Pixlr, which is fine. We're going to bring that into Pixlr anyway to crop it out. Okay, but basically our goal is this. We want to get our PowerPoint to match our online portfolio. The reason for that is if I ever print out my portfolio or email it to somebody or have a PDF version of it, and people go to visit my website or my portfolio, I want to make sure the two match. So they look like they belong together. So that's why we're making a print version of our portfolio by using a custom background. So that's that. So now over here, let me go ahead and show you. Here's how you can get a custom background into here. So if I go over to the top up here, I'm going to look for background. Okay, so you can go to themes. So I'm at home right now. Click on themes. There you go. And once you're at themes, click on background, which will be up here. Now, your version of PowerPoint may look a little different than mine. So you may have to hunt down to find theme options, background, but it should be under themes somewhere. So I'm going to click on that. And now somewhere in whatever version of PowerPoint you have, you should see something that says format background or something, background image, background something. Format background is what I'm looking for here. Click on that. And then this dialog box will pop up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on picture or text. It's a solid gradient picture text pattern. If I click on pattern, let's see if it'll let me do a custom pattern. No, it's not. Let me do a custom pattern. Nope. Okay, let's just go straight to picture or text. So I'm going to go and click on picture or text, and where it says from file, it should say choose image. So one more time, that's picture or texture, from file, choose picture. If I click on that, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click or find that screen capture that I just took. This may not work for you right away. If not, that's okay. I'm going to show you how to edit it. But first, if you see, if I get my picture here, click Insert. There you go. You'll see what happens in the background. Now it matches my online portfolio. So we're going to do more to it to customize it, but this is the general idea. This is how you're going to get the background. Okay. So now, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead now and show you how to edit the image because it may not work right away depending on what you have going on. So to do that, we're going to go to a website called Pixlr, which I believe I showed you in another lesson. So I'm going to make a new tab, File, New Tab. And once I'm there, I'm going to go to pixlr.com. That's going to be pixlr.com. Okay, so this is Pixlr. What you want to do is you want to scroll down and click on Launch Web App under Pixlr Editor. So Pixlr Editor is the version we want. Click on Launch Web App. There you go. So now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and open image from computer. Okay. So now I can go find the picture that I screen captured. Now in my case, the picture worked all right because I was able to crop it in the screen capture using Mac Command-Shift-4. However, the way that you may have screen captured, especially if you use a PC, it may be a little more difficult. You may have to do window print screen like I told you. And the problem with that is it's going to screen capture the whole thing. So you'll actually see like a whole background image, like the desktop and stuff that you don't want. So here's how you can bring in the picture to edit it. My version here of Mac is going to have pictures down here. When you go to open up your pictures, your version of Windows, if you're using Windows will have something similar. So you want to look for pictures somewhere. In the pictures folder on your Windows or PC desktop computer, you should find all your screen captures there. And they should be located under a folder that says something like screenshots or screen captures, something like that. Now, in my case, mine's somewhere different. Mine's not going to be under some desktop or downloads, I think it is. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to find my picture, open it up. There we go. And that's how you get your picture inside of here. So again, mine doesn't have any of the stuff around it. Mine's actually a good picture. But in the event that, again, you're using Windows and you have like the desktop and all this other stuff that you don't want, here's how you're going to crop it out, okay? So watch this carefully. These are my tools in Pixlr Editor. And what you want is this tool called the Marquee tool. If I roll over it, see that the name Marquee pops up. It's M-A-R-Q-U-E-E. That's the Marquee tool. It's not this black square in the top left. It's the one right below it. It's a blue square with a dotted line outline. Not this one that's a gradient. Blue square dotted line outline. That's the Marquee tool. Click on that, and now what you're going to do is you're going to click and drag just the part you want to select out. So let's say I want to select out just the center part. I would click and drag and then just let go wherever my selection is. So see that? Click and drag, make a selection. So if I had stuff out here I don't want, like the desktop or whatever for my screen capture, I can get rid of it by just selecting out the part that I want, which will be my pattern. Once I do that, I'm going to go to Edit Copy, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to File, New Image, File, New Image. Just click OK, and then Edit, Paste. And then there you go. So this will be the part that I cropped out. So what I cropped out of here is going to be inside of here. This way you can get that pattern even if you have the full screen capture of all the junk behind it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Save, File, Save, and just save it as a JPEG. Full quality, all that. Save it to your desktop, and then you'll be able to upload that to the background. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the same thing, but this time with an image. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Google. All right. So here's Google. Now, I actually already have the picture here. This is from an earlier project. However, you may need to get another picture. If it does not match exactly, by which I mean if it's not the exact same picture, that's okay as long as you get a picture that looks similar. So the pictures should, if they're not the same picture, then they should at least look like they belong together. If you save the picture and you have the same picture, that's even better. But if not, then at least one that's close enough will be fine. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Google. I'm just going to type in something. I think I did autumn forest. Let's think what I did. So you're going to go to Google, type in something that you want to match your background. So I have an autumn theme. As you can see, these autumn leaf theme going on. So I'm going to get something that matches. I'm going to go to Google Images. Click on that. Once I'm in Google Images, before you continue, do not forget this step. You want to go to Search Tools. So I'm in Google Images, Search Tools right here. And then you're going to go to Size. You only want to get a large image. So that's one more time, Search Tools, Size, Large. This is going to show only large pictures that you can use. So if I sort through here, so for example, if my original picture looked like this and I want to get something that matches, I could find something that has at least a close enough color scheme. Like this one looks pretty good. That kind of matches. And maybe we could do better. Oh, there we go. This one has good colors. But you get the idea. You want to get something that at least matches your general color scheme. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's the original. Huh, I found it. There it is. So that's the original picture. Now, once you find the picture that you want, always check the sides. It should be pretty big, at least 1,000 pixels on one side. But this is where you would see the size of the picture. If you scroll over them or roll over them with your cursor or your mouse, you'll see the size pops at the bottom like this. So you should be able to see the sizes there. Again, they should be at least 1,000 pixels on one side. So now, before you download this picture, remember, this is not the full-size picture. What you're looking at here is a thumbnail or a preview image. So if I click on this, this is what pops up. It says the title of it, and then it has a thumbnail. Don't click and drag this one or save this picture or right-click on this one. This is not the one you want. It's a preview. You always want to click on View Image first. So see over here? Next to Visit Page, click on View Image. And then you should get the full-size image. See how much nicer this is and much bigger? So this is the one you want for your PowerPoint. So you can either click and drag this to your desktop or else right click, save as, and save it to your desktop. And then that'll be the picture that you're going to use. So now once you're ready, you're going to go back to Pixlr Editor. So one more time, that was pixlr.com, and then go to Editor and then go in there. So I have Pixlr Editor open like this. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and open Image from Computer, just again. I saved this one to my desktop, if I remember correctly. Yes, okay, there it is. Click on that. Okay, so this is why we have to bring this in here. Just like before when we were working with the background of our portfolio like this, you always want to make sure that you have good contrast with the text. So remember, contrast is the difference between two things, usually related to color. So most often we say contrast in terms of darks versus lights. So if you have light text, you want your background to be darker. If you have dark text, you want your background to be lighter. If you have light text on light background, it won't work. Dark text on dark background, you won't be able to read it. So one more time, that's lights on darks and darks on lights. You always want to do that. The other thing you want to do is, especially when you're working with a photograph, you want to reduce the contrast of the photograph in general. The reason for that is this. So take a look at this picture. Let's say I have light text, right? Now I have a dark image in the background here, right? So if I go ahead and do light text, you don't have to do this with me. I'm just going to show you example text, right? Okay. So right now, the text seems to work, right? Because I have this light text on top of this dark background. So that seems fine, right? Except look what happens here. If I bring the text up, you notice immediately you can't read it as well. This is because any image that's a photograph will automatically have strong differences in contrast, at least most often. So what that means is this. If I take this text here, you see the white on top of the dark tree there, the white text in the dark tree shows up. But the second I go into this fog, the white text doesn't show up. So what happens is when you put text on a photograph, the reason text is hard to read when you plop it on a photograph like this is because no matter what you do, if it's dark text or light text, the text will show up on little parts of the image and then not show up on other little parts of the image. So it gets kind of blotchy and the contrast just isn't good. This is the same problem even if the text was darker. So even if the text was like black, still the same problem. The text now shows up well on this dark background, right? But the problem is it doesn't show up well wherever it touches the trees. See, so the MP here now is hidden because it's on top of the tree. So this is a perfect example of what I mean. It looks like it's this XA-E text, right? Doesn't look good. So this is why we have to reduce the overall contrast of the image in general before we darken or lighten it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. Okay, so just to reiterate with Pixlr, I want to show you guys this again. These are our window panels, or our panels, which are over here. And these contain layers, navigator. The navigator will let me zoom in and out like this. See, drag left to right. There you go. The history panel, let me go back in history, so Command Z, except you can go up in history to go back. And layers, one of the most important things, this is going to let me add layers to my object. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out by going to adjustment. So look at the top of your screen and look for where it says adjustment. The first thing we want to do is we want to reduce the contrast. So to do that, click on adjustment, brightness, and contrast. So one more time, that's adjustment, brightness, and contrast. This box will pop up. Now I want to reduce the contrast. Just so you know, this will gray out the image a little bit. That's okay. So it's more important, remember, we don't necessarily want a pretty image. We want a readable image. So it's okay if it makes it look not pretty. Just reduce the contrast, and you see it's going to gray it out. The opposite of contrast will make the dark super dark and the light super light, like this, right? So if it has high contrast, lights are super light, darks are super dark. We want the opposite. We want both the lights and darks to be kind of similar, which is going to gray it out like this. There you go. All right, and then click OK. So now my image is kind of grayed out. So now I have to decide what I'm going to do. If I'm going to do light text on a dark background or dark text on a light background. That's going to help me decide. But now you can already see, though, now that the fog and the trees are kind of the same color. So the fog got a little darker to match the trees, and the trees got a little lighter to match the fog. So now we're not going to have so much of that problem that we had before with the text. So now I'm going to go to adjustment, and this time I'm going to go ahead and go to brightness, contrast again. Brightness, contrast again. Now this time I'm going to decide, let's say I want to do dark text. To do dark text, I want to increase the brightness now. It's going to whiten out the whole image, including the dark parts like the trees and everything. That's why we lowered the contrast first. See how that helps it? So to increase the brightness, here's what's going to happen. Now when I put dark text on this, now you can read it. This is your strategy for putting any kind of text on any kind of background. If it's dark text you want, you got to reduce the contrast of the background and then lighten it. If it's light text you want, then you have to do the opposite, because you can see here, if I bring my text to light, now I can't read it. So I got to do the opposite. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that right now. Okay. So that's adjustment, brightness, contrast. Now I'm going to darken it. Since I already have dark text or light text on my PowerPoint, I want to do dark here. So I'm going to reduce the brightness to make it pretty dark. And then I'm also going to reduce the contrast more because I'm seeing the fog is still a little too light for me. So I'm going to reduce the contrast even more, reduce the brightness even more. There we go. So now the whole image is just kind of faded and dark. Click OK. Now my dark text won't show up. But if I make it light, like this, my light text will show up. There we go. So you see that? So this is how you handle text on top of a photograph. Okay. So I just wanted to show you that. So you don't have to actually make text on this background. In fact, we don't want you to make text on this background right now. We just want the image to be prepared to have text on top of it when we do put it on the PowerPoint. So you can see here, I have light text on my image, on my PowerPoint, so I want to make sure this matches. So I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and make sure my image is dark so I can keep light text on that. When I'm ready, I'm just going to go File, Save, save it to my desktop as a JPEG, increase the quality. I'm going to call this maybe background or PowerPoint background, and save it. So it's actually a pretty easy process, I think. I'm going to say this is my desktop. There you go. Okay. So basically, in short, you just imported the picture, went to adjustments, went to brightness, contrast, reduce the contrast, and then increase or decrease the brightness depending on the opposite of what your text is. And that's basically it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make this the background for my PowerPoint now. So just like I did before, usually you start out on the home page, you want to go to themes. Now keep in mind your version of PowerPoint may be a little different, but you should be able to find these features on your own. So it's under themes in most cases, and you're going to see a background or theme options. So you're looking for theme options, background. You're going to change the background. It's going to say format background. It may say something a little different, but you should see it says background, image background, something like that. Mine says format background. That should be the one you're looking for. There you go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on picture or text. Picture or text, from file, choose picture. So again, that's picture or text, from file, choose picture. And you're going to get the picture that you saved to your desktop. PowerPoint background. There we go. Now look what happens. You see how nice that is? So this is my custom background for this. Now you can adjust the picture, artistic filters, all that kind of stuff. You can, as you can see, change contrast and brightness more back here. I prefer to do it in Pixlr because I think Pixlr makes the image better quality. But you could also do it here. But so far I think this should be fine. Okay. So now whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and click Apply to All. So you want this background to work on all your PowerPoint slides. Click Apply to All. There you go. What that means is now if you look under themes here, here's my theme that I did, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and start changing fonts and colors. So let's first put some text on here. I'm going to call this cover, or let's call this my portfolio. So I'm going to call this my portfolio. You'll notice though, by default, my text is black, which isn't going to show up, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do fonts and colors. Let's start with colors so you guys can see it better. And click on colors. This is under theme options. So again, under themes tab, theme options, colors, right over here. Click on that. Now I can pick from pre-made color schemes, but I don't think I want that. I want to choose my own. So I click on create theme colors, which is at the bottom. So one more time, that was create theme colors. Let me show you that again actually. Down here, bottom, create theme colors. So now I'm going to go ahead and try, let's see. This is text background light 1. Okay. And you can change these colors here. So let's see. All you have to do is double click on these. It's going to show you a sample over here of how they're going to look. So let's see. Wherever I see purple. Purple says followed hyperlink. I can change that. You want everything, if your background's dark, everything should be some light color. They can be different light colors, but they should still be light colors in general. Light colors would be like light yellow, light orange, light pink, light green. Dark colors would be the opposite, like dark red, dark green, dark blue, things like that. In my case, they should all be pretty light. So this thing pops up, you can pick your color and make it light or dark, depending on what you need. There you go. Okay. So let's see, so that works. So my background's dark. I'm going to get another hyperlink. I think I'll do orange for links. Bright orange. There we go. See the samples there. Okay, so accents, not bad. You're just going through basically and picking light colors. They could still be in the same range of colors, so don't worry about using the same color twice. So in this case, I want fall colors, right? So light green probably won't look good because if I have light green on this fall background, it doesn't really match my color scheme. So you want to try to keep within the color scheme. In this case, I have fall colors. Fall colors like red, orange, yellow, and then of course there's white for the light for certain accent colors. So I want to keep it within that color scheme. So don't try to pick like a ton of different white colors. Otherwise, your portfolio is going to look like the Teletubbies. You don't want that. You want it to be restrict your colors to a specific scheme. So I can go ahead and pick yellow again, for example. If I have to, click OK. I can do different variations of these fall colors. Just have them be kind of light versions of each other. There we go. Okay, not bad. See that? So double click. I'm just clicking on these, changing the accents. And there we go. Perfect. Okay. So these are all my accent colors. See that here? So now I have these nice fall colors, and they all show up in the dark background because they're all light. Again, if you had a light colored background, you do the opposite. They would all be dark colors here. Mine are all light because my background's dark. If your background's light, then they're going to be dark here. So keep going. Now I'm going to do text. For my text, I think I want white text for the most part. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, I see. I can pick. That's nice. Let me see. So basically, this is showing you how the dark background will look. I'm going to actually make this one dark then. My apologies. It says text background dark too. For the dark ones, I should keep those dark. Those are dark versions. There you go. I'm still using fall colors, as you can see. It looks almost like Thanksgiving, what I'm doing here. Let's see. I think I'm going to keep white for my main text still. And then dark. I guess that's fine for dark. Maybe some darker. Maybe brown. Yeah, that should be fine. So if it says dark 1 and dark 2, those are the only dark ones here that I'm going to have. Okay, so you can see here, this gives you an example under preview of how that color scheme is going to look. So now that I'm ready, I can name this color scheme. I'm going to call this Autumn. Autumn Forest, whatever. And you can call it whatever you want to. And click Apply to All. So again, you want to apply to all. There you go. Okay. So I see my background, or this text is not working quite as like I wanted it. Let me change it again. If you want to change it, go back to colors. You see it's now, if I click on colors, now here's my theme. You guys see that? Isn't that cool? So it's under custom, click on colors, there it is, Autumn Forest. I'm going to double click on that. Whoops, excuse me. And actually I should edit this, create theme colors. There you go. So I'm going to edit this and make another one. So I'm going to click on this again, go back to create theme colors. I need to lighten that brown, it's not working. So let me do that again. I was wrong. It was a little confusing for me in this picture. Let me see if I can bring this up. There we go, to light color. There we go. And then dark 1, try that again, bringing that up to light color 2. There we go. Okay. Okay. I'm going to call this Autumn Forest 2. Forest 2. See if that works. Apply to all. There we go. All right, now we're talking. See how your text shows up much nicer now? So if I click on it, click on colors up here, now I have Autumn Forest 2 much better. So now my text will show up no matter what I do on any of these backgrounds, which is great. So I can do my portfolio, and then down here put your name, by Krisha Moeller. There you go. So now, these two fonts are the same though. We want to change this. So let's click on this and we're going to change some fonts. So fonts are going to be up under here as well. Again, that's themes, over here, themes, theme options, fonts. So now we're going to change some font themes. So to do that, you're probably guessing, here's some built-in ones. There you go. Let's try, I want something that looks readable. So again, I don't mind what font you use, but just make sure you can read it. It's going to be a readable font. And you want to get it to match your print portfolio as much as possible. So I recommend using something called a sans serif. Sans, the word sans, S-A-N-S, means without. So you want a font without serifs. Serifs, S-E-R-I-F, serifs, are these little tags that appear. So if you look at like Times New Roman, you see these little tags that appear, like there's a little tag that appears on the N around the edges. Or let me find another example. Here's one. So these little tags appear at the T, right? Those are called serifs. So when you want a sans serif font, it means a font that does not have little tags, a nice clean looking font. Your website or your portfolio online will by default should have sans serif fonts because those are easier to read online. So we want to match. So at the very least, you can pick any font you want, but try to get a sans serif font. It's the only thing I recommend. So let me see. I'm going to get maybe Arial Black. There we go. So you see it affects whatever font I have right here. There we go. And then I'm going to go to my name down here. Click on that. And now I'm going to get something smaller. Another sans serif, but I want to get a different one. I want there to be good contrast or good juxtaposition between those fonts. So the opposite. So I have a thick font here. This is Impact that I use. I want to get something thinner for that one. Oops, it didn't work. There's going to be a way to do that. Let me see. Can I do different ones? Oh, I see. It does it by it actually picks one and then does the other one automatically for you. That's fine then. Whoops. excuse me. I see. So the top font's the main text, and the bottom, the font next to it is for other stuff. So let's see. Let me do Franklin Gothic. I like that one better. Okay, there we go. So now that I have a font selected, I'm now going to highlight this and make this bigger. So now that we're doing themes, I can go to Home over here. Go to Home. There we go. And then I can make this bigger if I wanted to. If you want to change the font on just this one part, you can do that under here under Font, just like before. There you go. So for example, I want to change just the title. I can make that really big and increase it down here. There you go. Okay. So again, you can call this whatever you want. Just make sure this is My Portfolio with your name. Now lastly, let me show you a couple of quick things you can do with this. Let's see. Okay. So what I just did is I was at home. I had my text highlighted it here, and then I went to Format. That's what I wanted. So click under Format. This is where I can add special effects to my text too if I wanted to. So for example, under Format here, again, it may look a little different depending on your version of PowerPoint. There's effects over here, but these effects, keep in mind, will change everything on there, which I don't think I want. See, they're going to give me different colors and all that stuff. There's also effects over here, which I think will be easier to work with. So I click on effects over here. I should be able to do a drop shadow. So I clicked on that, effects, shadow. I can do like a shadow above it, as you can see. That's going to give me a little shadow on my text. I can do it down here too if I want to. Let me try another effect. Or a glow. Do a glow. A glow will give it a little shiny outline like that. Let me see how that works. There you go. It's very subtle. I don't see it very strong, but let me see. Let me try another one. Yeah, there you go. So basically, these are all different options to add special effects to your text. Let me see. Reflection. I don't want to do reflection. Well, I'll show you. Reflection will give it like a little image below it. See how it's reflecting now? There you go. Move that up if I had to. There you go. Perfect. All right, so there's my portfolio. It's like it's in the mist. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make, now that I did my effects, I'm going to go ahead and make a new slide. The way that you do that is you're going to go File, Insert New Slide. My apologies. Insert New Slide. And there we go. Now I have a new slide here. So here's my title, and there's this one. So now you can add text here, and then you add a title here. So for example, I could call this one, let me see, how about slide or photograph 1, for example, to add in a picture if I wanted to. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. This frame inside here, you can add text to it, but you can also just import a picture. If I go straight to text, it'll do this. I can say like my camera type or location, let me see, Lancaster, CA, camera type, let's see, iPhone camera, things like that. So I can do everything here. Let me see, credit line. So I can type everything in here that I need. Highlight this. I can make this different color if I need to, maybe like yellow. You can see my theme colors now are under here. See under the color here, under theme. There you go. And then I can reduce these down here, shrink them if I have to. I'm going to hide the whole thing, shrink them down. There you go. Make them small. See that? So I just highlighted this and then shrunk this down. I could even bold just part of it, so I could just bold this side of it. See that? Or underline it if I wanted to. I don't want to underline it though. Let me say undo. Maybe just bold them. Okay. Okay. So now that that's down there, so it looks nice and readable, I can now import a picture. So now that I have my text in here. Oh, if you want to get rid of the bullets, to do that, select them. The bullets are up here. See where the bullets are? This is all under home. Click on that. Bullets. Now there's no more bullets. So those are available under paragraph is where they are. Okay. Now I'm going to import a picture. To do that, you should be under home. Home. You can insert, go to home, insert picture. If you can't find it, then insert in the main menu, which will be up in this thing. But I won't show you that. I'm just going to show you down here. So this insert picture though. Insert picture. There we go. I'm going to click on picture from file. And then I can upload a picture that I've taken. I have not actually taken a picture though. So what I'm going to do is I'll just use, let's see, this one, insert. And then this will be my photograph or my work of art. Let me see. There you go. All right. And then I could just drop this over here if I had to. There we go. So see how nice it is? So basically, this is how I could set up my slides if I wanted to. Maybe I'll even capitalize this. Let me see. There you go. Very nice. Or I could always pull them up here if I wanted them this way. Again, you can drag this text around. Get the text the way you want it first, though, whatever you do. There you go. Perfect. You can even add effects if you wanted to your text, to your images by clicking on the image. And there should be styles under Format Picture. So what I did is I clicked on the picture. It won't work unless the picture's selected. So click on the picture so the picture's selected. Again, you can move, resize the image, do what you need to do. Make sure it's where you need to go. There you go, or how you want it, I mean. And then once you're ready, actually move this down a little bit more. All right, once you're ready, the picture's clicked on. Click on Format Picture. Format Picture. There you go. Now I could do all sorts of stuff with this. I could do another shadow. See under picture styles over here? I could do another shadow or a border if I wanted to. Let's see. I could make the edges blurry. I don't like that. Reflected round edges. Don't like that. Drop shadow. Drop shadows are actually pretty nice. I can even do a frame around it. See the frame? Circle. All sorts of different options. If you click down there, there's a whole bunch more. Reflection. There's a ton of them. See this? So I don't get something too fancy though, because then it's going to kind of override the picture. You don't want that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a simple frame. There you go. It's good enough for me. Okay, so here's my picture inside of this. Now, ready? Here's the next step. Let's say I want to duplicate this picture, right? To duplicate this and make my own PowerPoint, you're going to right click on on the slide, which is over here. And if you should be able to right click duplicate slide. If that doesn't work, because I have a Apple mouse, then you're going to have to go to insert duplicate slide. So it's up in the menu up here. You don't see it up here in the frame, but it's insert duplicate slide. You can copy it. There you go. So see now it says slide 1, there's a copy, right? There's 2 copies. So now what I could do is I can go to the second slide, change this to photograph 2 or whatever, a new title. You don't have to actually call it photograph 2. I'm just giving you an example. So I could call this this could be leaves title, and then this one could be, I don't know, nature, whatever you're going to name your photographs. There you go. Different examples, okay, and so forth. Now, here's how you can change the information. Now that they're 2 separate slides, everything's in the right spot. You would just change the location. So if this is something else, you would change this. Otherwise, the information should be the same. Here's how you change out a picture, right? You should be able to right-click the change out a picture. If that does not work, if you can't right-click to switch out the picture, then you may have to hold down Control. So I clicked and hold down Control on my computer. This is for Macintosh. If you have Windows, you might be able to just right-click on it, but I had to do Control-click. So one more time, Control-click, and now I can change picture. See that? Change picture, and now I'm going to put a different picture in there. I actually forgot to get pictures on my desktop for this one, so I'll just do the same picture in a picture. There you go. There you go. See that? So now I can go through, and they're all exactly the same. I can change them. And you see even formats differently based on the sizing of the picture. There you go. And this is how you would make your own matching print portfolio to match your online, to match your online portfolio like this one, right? There you go. So now these 2 don't match exactly because I actually changed these, but I'm going to go back and put this picture back here as well, which I'll show you the end result in just a bit. All right. So now that this is done, I'm going to go ahead and save this first. So go ahead and File, Save this. Save as, I'm going to call this Final Presentation, or actually let's call it Final Print Portfolio. Final Print Portfolio, and then save that. Okay. Perfect. Now the cool thing about this is you can actually import slides into this now. Whatever slides you import into this will now match, or they'll get matched with the same background. So I'm going to show you to do that in the next presentation. Just give me a moment. Okay, so really quickly, before I move on to the next lesson, here's the last thing I wanted to show you in case you forgot. I just logged in to my FreeRTOS portfolio. I'm going to go to My Portfolio. I'm going to show you how to match the backgrounds up if you want to do it this way. So this is in case you lost the picture and you want to get the same picture here in reverse. I just logged into freeartist.net, clicked on My Portfolio, and now I'm going to go to Edit Portfolio Style. Edit Portfolio Style. And then I can click on background up here. So edit portfolio style background, and I can upload the picture that I did before. So you're going to want to click on use image, enter image URL. You want that checked on. So make sure you check that on and then click on browse. Just so if you click on browse, don't forget this little browse box may accidentally slip behind the screen. See what happens? I'm going to show you. If I click it here and then click on this on accident, it's like, hey, where'd it go? It's gone. It's hidden behind the screen. So just make sure you get it there. Click on background file, choose file. All right, so now I'm going to get my picture, PowerPoint background picture. This is the same picture that I just did, and then I'm going to upload it. So select that, upload. Now again, this is why you want to use a large picture, because if I don't use a large picture, it's going to repeat like a bunch of tiny pictures in a row. You don't want that. You don't want a bunch of tiny mini pictures going around. If the picture is too big to upload, it'll give you an error message. It'll say it's too big, or it'll just freeze on you if it's really big. So if that happens, you may have to shrink it a little bit into in Pixlr. You would just import it into Pixlr over in here, open the picture, and then just shrink it. This one I think should be fine, but in case you just open it up and then you go image size. So it's image size, then you can kind of reduce the size of it if you had to. See, I can make it smaller and all that. But I think my picture should be fine. Oh, good. Actually, I got a message. Let me show you. So it says maximum size allowed. It's 2 megabytes, but it's 2.04 megabytes. So you know what? That's actually fine. I'm glad this happened so I can show you. I'm going to go to Pixlr. Excuse me. So again, that's Pixlr, P-I-X-L-R, Pixlr Editor. And then you're going to go in here. And I actually have the picture opened already, but you can go File, Open if you forgot it. So it's File, Open Image. But in my case, I already have it. So I'm just going to go, or Open from File. I'm just going to shrink it. So I can go to, actually, you know what? Let's do it this way. I can shrink the image by going image size, shrink it a little bit. So I can just reduce the width a little bit. Keep constrained proportions on because you don't want to warp it. So I'm just going to shrink the width a little bit. Click OK. Now it's a little bit smaller. So I go File, Save. Now it's going to tell me how big it is. If I increase the quality, there. So basically, this is in kilobytes. You see right above where it says OK, it says size. Kilobytes are about 1,000. There's 1,000 kilobytes for every megabyte. So 2 megabytes is the maximum size to upload an image to freeartist.net. So you want this to be under 2,000. So again, there's 1,000 kilobytes for every megabyte. So 2 megabytes is 2,000 kilobytes. If it's under 2,000 kilobytes, it'll work. Another option is if you want the picture to be big, you can keep the picture big. Keep it a big picture, but just reduce the quality. That's going to help you right there. So if I reduce the quality, anything less than 100 will, see, I did 95%. Already look at my size. My size is way smaller. It's only 855 kilobytes, which is even better. So I just reduced the quality by a little bit. I made the picture a little bit smaller, clicked OK. Again, you still want to be pretty big though, at least 1,000 pixels. But if you make it too small, again, you're going to have like a bunch of little copies of pictures. You don't want that. So I'm going to click on that, save this to my desktop. There you go. Place it. All right. So now I'm going to try this again. Click on Browse. Here I am again. This is back where I was. So you do the steps, same steps again. Browse file. Let me get it. And now it will work because now it's under 2 megs. Click OK, upload. All right, so my picture uploaded. You see down here, here's my picture. There it is. So this is what I'm saying. See, if you don't have it big enough, it's going to duplicate too much. This is actually fine, but there's one more thing I need to do. So you see where it says position over here? Position should be default, which is fine. Repeat, you usually want to have repeat X and Y no matter what, just in case somebody has a really huge screen so it'll tile. If it's a tile picture, then you definitely want X and Y on there. A tile is like little, tiled blocks. But I would say by default you should have repeat X and Y on. Now here's the biggest difference. I recommend for movement clicking fixed. So movement fixed, that's the thing you want to change. This is what this does. You see now if I scroll around, it's going to let me scroll the image fixed to the background like this. There you go. Now again, see my text is nice and light on top of this dark background? This is what we wanted. If you want to change the color of your text on your profile page to match, you would do that under widget, menu bar, tab bar, and text. So see these are all the different colors. Anytime you see a little block or a little square of color, it's the color of something. So I can click text color, change that to white, change the font family, all this kind of stuff, and so forth and so forth. Let me see, tab, or that's for something else, that's for the tab down here. But again, if you do the light text, under text here, light text on dark background, I don't like that green, I don't know how that got there. Let me get it to match my color scheme. Let's do red matches my color scheme, light red. Light red basically is going to be like a pink, but that's fine. If that doesn't work, maybe orange. Let me see. Orange, that works. Nice. Okay. There you go. See, it's better. So now it matches my color scheme. Nice fall colors. When I'm done, I'm going to click Save. Up here. Save and then Close. I was going to say, you sure want to save that? As long as you click Save first, this message doesn't mean anything. Click OK and you're fine. There you go. So now here's the cool thing. Here is my presentation, my online presentation, my online portfolio, and here's my matching print portfolio. Isn't that cool? So they got the same background for each one, and now they match. Perfect. So now the next section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to merge more than one PowerPoint together. And that will be in another tutorial that I will show you later. But in short, it's going to show you how to basically just drop in slides from other PowerPoints. You copy paste them like this. If I click on a slide, I can click on Control C or Command C, depending on which computer you use. If it's a Macintosh, it's Command C. If it's Windows, then Control C. Copy it. And then you can go over to another PowerPoint and paste it. And whatever slide you paste in here will appear with the same background. And that's how you get it to match. All right, so when you're ready, just click Save, and that's it.